This formula has changed my life. It is a formula that I have used to build my real estate business to over 200 transactions a year, to become one of the top salespeople in the United States, to build offices in the real estate industry, to build investment companies, short-term rental companies, and even attract some of the greatest relationships I could ever possibly have into my life. So I'm going to share with you in this video what the formula is, how I discovered it, and how you can use it to attract whatever it is that you want in your life. Anytime you have what I like to call a value gap in your life, or someone you're trying to serve has a value gap, a formula you can just think about to help you attract the success that you need. So the first letter is capital R, and it stands for all the relationships that you're going to need in your life to accomplish this. The second letter is a capital V, and it stands for your validity. Because let's face it, if you don't have validity, no one in the world is going to open the door to a relationship with you. Here's what I like to say about validity. Everybody has it, and nobody thinks they do. And then the third V is a value gap, and it could be your value gap that you're trying to solve, or it could be your customers or your clients or the people you're trying to serve. What is their biggest value gap? We all have value gaps that we wish someone would come along and start helping us solve. You take those three letters, you put a line underneath them, and then you put a capital T at the bottom. And that capital T stands for time. We all only have 24 hours in the day, and anything you commit to or want in your life is going to take a certain amount of time. So that T stands for how much time in the day should I put into this? How long will this take realistically? Some of our wealth building businesses have taken 20 plus years. Being realistic about how much time you need to commit to accomplish this, or how long of your life will be dedicated to accomplishing that. It equals attraction or success. So how I came up with the formula is actually just tracking back my success. The formula was there, the model was there. It's something that if I was sent to Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky to build something, I would pull out this formula and use it. It was by really looking back at success and realizing what are those key components and models that I gravitated to no matter what. I always did this without even realizing it. First thing I asked myself is, who am I trying to be a hero to? The last thing I did was I figured out what is their biggest value gaps. What do they wish that some professional would come along and solve? And then I just got busy dropping gifts and value into those value gaps. Because when you drop value into someone's value gap, you create this amazing thing that Robert Cialdini likes to call reciprocity and beholdenness. Now, we're actually humanly wired in such a way that when someone gives something to us, we're automatically wired to give something back. And so in this particular case, I would want someone to give me an opportunity, a chance to come to their home, sit down with them and make a presentation. One example of how I used the value gap was to become the #1 listing agent in my company. And what I did with that is I identified the R, who did I want to be a hero to, who were the particular people that I wanted to serve. And once I identified those people, I then created validity and became the person of influence that they felt like could service them and could actually solve that problem for them of selling their home. So their value gap was they wanted to sell their house. Maybe it was they wanted the most money, shortest amount of time, or the fewest hassles. You have to ask great questions and figure that out. And then I would begin to drop things into their value gaps. My friend Joe Paula says, life gives to the giver and takes from the taker. So anytime you're going to start dropping things into people's value gap, you're just going to give them something of value. Maybe it's help, maybe it's data, maybe it's just being there to help them do something that they can accomplish on their own, like lower their taxes or whatever. But as I begin to give and drop things into those people's value gaps, it created reciprocity and beholdenness, and they gave me an opportunity to get my foot in the door and actually sit down and be able to give a presentation and figure out what it was they were needing in their transaction, and then go above and beyond those expectations. So that's an example of how I used the formula to become the #1 listing agent in my company. And in the next video, I'm going to share with you how I use this formula to get into the short-term rental business. I'm Linda McKissack, and we'll see you in the next video for more. So the formula, what were you even answering?